Full stop, Mr. DC bade his keys. But prompt ventilation of this important question. Where Cranley led me to get rich quick, hunting his winners among the mud-splashed breaks, amid the bowls of bookies on their pitches and reek of the canteen over the motley slush. Even money, fair rebel. 10-1 the field. Dicers and thimble riggers we hurried after by the hooves, defying caps and jackets, and past the meat-faced woman, a butcher's dame, nuzzling thirstily her clove of orange. Shouts rang shrill from the boys' playfield, and a whirring whistle. Again, a goal! I am among them, among their battling bodies in a medley, the joust of life. You mean that knock-kneed mother's darling who seems to be slightly craw-sick? Jousts! Time-shocked rebounds, shock by shock. Jousts, slush and uproar of battles, the frozen death's view of the slain, a shout of spear spikes baited with men's bloodied guts. Now then, Mr. DC said, rising. He came to the table, pinning together his sheets. Stephen stood up. I have put the matter into a nutshell, Mr. DC said. It's about the foot and mouth disease. Just look through it. There can be no two opinions on the matter. May I trespass on your valuable space? That doctrine of laissez-faire which so often in our history, our cattle trade, the way of all our old industries, Liverpool ring which jockeyed the Galway harbour scheme, European conflagration, grain supplies through the narrow waters of the Channel, the pluter-perfect imperturbability of the Department of Agriculture, pardoned a classical allusion, Cassandra, by a woman who was no better than she should be, to come to the point at issue. I don't mince my words, do I? Mr. DC asked as Stephen read on. Foot and mouth disease, known as Koch's preparation, serum and virus, percentage of salted horses, rinderpest, emperor's horses at Bloomsday, Lower Austria. Veterinary surgeons, Mr. Henry Blackwood Price. Courteous offer, a fair trial, dictates of common sense, all-important question. In every sense of the word, take the bull by the horns, thanking you for the hospitality of your columns. I want that to be printed and read, Mr. DC said. You will see at the next outbreak they will put an embargo on Irish cattle. And it can be cured. It is cured. My cousin, Blackwood Price, writes to me it is regularly treated and cured in Austria by cattle doctors there. They offer to come over here. I am trying to work up influence with the department. Now I'm going to try publicity. I am surrounded by difficulties, by intrigues, by backstairs influence, by... He raised a forefinger and beat the air oddly before his voice spoke. Mark my words, Mr. Dedalus, he said. England is in the hands of the Jews. In all the highest places, her finance, her press. And they are the signs of a nation's decay. Wherever they gather, they eat up the nation's vital strength. I have seen it coming these years. As sure as we are standing here, the Jew merchants are already at their work of destruction. Old England is dying. He stepped swiftly off, his eyes coming to blue life as they passed a broad sunbeam. He faced about and back again. Dying, he said, if not dead by now. The harlot's cry from street to street shall weave old England's winding sheet. His eyes opened wide in vision, stared sternly across the sunbeam in which he halted. A merchant, Stephen said, is one who buys cheap and sells dear, Jew or Gentile, is he not? They sinned against the light, Mr. DC said gravely. And you can see the darkness in their eyes, and that is why they are wanderers on the earth to this day. On the steps of the Paris Stock Exchange, the gold-skinned men quoting prices on their gemmed fingers, gabbles of geese. They swarmed loud, uncouth about the temple, their heads thick-plotting under maladroit silk hats. Not theirs, these clothes, this speech, these gestures. Their full, slow eyes belied the words, the gestures eager and unoffending, but knew the rancours massed about them, and knew their zeal was vain. Vain patience to heap and hoard. Time surely would scatter all. A hoard heaped by the roadside, plundered and passing on. Their eyes knew the years of wandering, and patient knew the dishonours of their flesh. Who has not? Stephen said. What do you mean? Mr. Deasy asked.